Good morning, everybody. Uneducated economist here. Yesterday, I was doing a live stream video, and in the middle of the live stream video, a guy walks up to the window and starts talking to me through the window. This homeless guy does. And I tried to get him to go away, and he just kind of kept, talking to me. Eventually, I just drove the car away. All right, so I just drove it like a couple of hundred yards down the road. And when I turned the car off and I looked at the camera, or I looked at my phone and was reading the comments, the very first comment that I saw was something that was just like something about being a piece of trash. I read the comment out loud and then immediately defended the guy from that particular comment. There was a lot of people who thought that I was calling that guy personally, that I was calling him a piece of trash. Never would I ever done that. That is not who I am. I do not do that. I do not think that people are trash. Not a single human being on this planet do I feel that way about. Even the people that I have to question whether or not they're even humans from some of the way they conduct themselves. But never have I ever thought of somebody as trash. Never. I mean, every life is a meaningful life. I don't care how or what you try to, portray other people as. Everybody has a purpose on this planet. Whether or not you agree or disagree with what they are doing in their lives, it's not up to us to judge whether or not they should be here, right? That's up to somebody far different from us as an individual. It's not for us to think about. So never in my life will I ever think of anybody as trash. It's not me. And the main reason I will not think of somebody as trash is because I will not fill my thoughts with that. See, it's a long time ago I figured it out, and it was only just recently, within the last probably 5 to 10 years, that I've actually tried to put it more into practice. And it was reiterated to me in a comment. And I wish I could go back and find the person. I should have done that before I started the video. But in the comment, they suggested that everybody go and watch Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. And I'm going to leave a link down in the description for you guys to this. We've talked about it before in the past. It has a lot to do with the laws of attraction. And ultimately, what it comes down to is you are where you are right now because that's what you think about. Whether you enjoy your position or you hate it, it's because that's what you're thinking. You are thinking exactly where you are right now. And so when it comes to somebody who is on the streets, and I see them and they're walking down the streets and they're all, yeah, I can tell, man. That's what you think about all day long. You're frustrated, you're upset, you can't find anything, you can't figure anything out, you stink, nobody will look at you, nobody will talk to you. Right? This is what you think about all day. And that's where you're going to be. It's exactly that. There's no difference between me and anybody else. I have an obsession about the economy. I studied it a lot. I have no special skills, education. I am no different from anybody. I used a $100 used iPhone 6 and borrowed Wi-Fi to start this YouTube channel. Anybody can do it. I've seen plenty of people who look like they have absolutely nothing pull out a phone and start using it. Anybody had the same opportunity that I did. I just used it. I saw what I wanted. I put it in my head. I said, I want to have a YouTube channel that is popular, that I can talk economics with. And that was my only goal. My goal for monetizing was $100. You ask anybody that knows me personally what my goal was for earning money on YouTube, it was $100. After that, I didn't care. After I got to $100, I was like, wow, let's do that again. I didn't have any ambition to make money off of this channel. My whole ambition was to try and grow a huge YouTube channel. The money would come. That was my whole thought. Totally happened. You want to hear something strange? I feared a house into existence. I was scared. You guys go back and look at those videos that I was making 6 months ago. I was scared about what was coming. I could not find a place to live. I had no idea what I was going to do. I wasn't scared about the money part of it, I mean, I had the money to move. I was just like, but there was no place to go, and the only place I could find was very expensive. And I was like, man, I do not want to buy an expensive house, but it's the only place I could find. It was in the area that I wanted to be. It was like everything about it seemed perfect, but why am I so scared about getting in here? And I thought about it night and day about moving into this house, and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And am I going to be able to handle this and whatever? And then the time comes and I have to sign the deal, and it took everything out of me. And I had like, by the time I got the down payment, I had like $300 left in my checking account. And I tell you, it tore me up. All of it did. The whole process of even getting into the house. I mean, I did videos on it. You can go back and watch them. But the entire time I saw my family in a house in the area that I wanted. My youngest boy, he says, Dad, I want a house with a big front yard. That's the only thing he was thinking of. He got it. That's what we got. We had a huge front yard. This house is, I mean, I can't believe how big the front yard is. You know, my wife, she saw the family unit being out there and doing the gardening and having the life that we once had, where we had the hobby farm and stuff, and getting a lot of that back, you know, or at least a little piece of that back for now. These are the things that were in their head on a regular basis. That's what they thought about, and they got it. I got it too. I was in fear of it, but all of us were thinking of the house, and that's what we got. You know, I think about the successful people that I see out there. I have a buddy who, I swear, this dude, he gets anything. He can get anything. It just blows me away. Some of the stuff that I watch this guy accumulate. All he has to do is just put his mind to it. And he laughed at me. He was just like, dude, you just don't get it, do you? He picked up his phone. He says, this thing has everything in the world on it. All you have to do is just go get it. And I was like, I would just be amazed. But he would sit at his kitchen island table, or a kitchen island there, and scroll through Marketplace and Craigslist and everywhere, and looking for deals. And he would make these ridiculously low deals. Like, he would go and find these like nice cars or trucks or whatever, and make these ridiculously low deals and get them. Like, it would just be amazing. It'd be like, oh, well, it doesn't run right or whatever, and he would, you know, figure it out and just like change the plugs around or something. Just like, you know, I was amazed by some of the stuff that this guy would pull off. He would flip items in a matter of hours and make hundreds of dollars. It was just impressive. And he still just laughs at me every time. I was like, man, how'd you do that? He was just like, see me do it, you know, sitting right here, right in front of you. And the reason is because he's constantly thinking about it. Constantly. You know, you can do this with anything if you want. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, if you want to be a good cook, if you sit around and watch YouTube videos on cooking, start reading books on cooking, figuring out different methods, how to do ingredient combinations, all the different methods of you know, just everything about it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to do cooking or fishing or mechanics or anything you want, if you study it long enough, you will become an expert on it. It doesn't matter. Like, you want to become an economist, if you just study it long enough and take in the theories and practice thought and just have it rolling constantly, and everything you look at has like some sort of like concept into your thinking of economics, well, eventually you're going to be able to come out on YouTube and just spit it out all day long. It's just like it's just a matter of your thoughts. So you think about where you are right now. I think about where those homeless people are. Like, some of them, I was watching an old couple. They don't look like they've been homeless long. They look like they've been only, like, I mean, their stuff is fairly new. Like, you can tell it's a newer tent. It's newer, like, everything is kind of new. Like, they were like, okay, we're hitting the streets now, so we better get some supplies with the little money that we have left, or the money that we do have. We got to secure it, and we're going to live in a tent for a while until we can figure out what it is that we're going to do to live, you know, to find a place to be at. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, how is it that they got there? Like, what is it that's going on in their mind? Is because they are entirely scared. They are in fear of being homeless. They think about it all day long. They think about what it is that they're going to do, and they can't figure it out, and they only have a little bit of money, and there's nobody helping them, and they have this fear of living on the streets. Guess what? That's where you are. It's because you're constantly thinking about it. You want $1 million? You want a new car? You want to be in a better relationship? Right? You know, sometimes people look at it, like, I realized something when it came to watching and seeing what takes place in relationships with people. And it's amazing to me because I can see two people who get along so well. Like, it's incredible. Like, they get along like incredibly well, and you wonder what happened. Why didn't they make it? It's like they do the same stuff, they hang out, they whatever. There was something in their lives that wasn't the same. They didn't see it the same way. In their mind, they were living a different life than what their partner was living. They didn't know it. They were in the same house, they were doing the same things, but the future didn't look the same for them. There was something inside of it that said, hey, you're heading in this direction, and I want to go this direction. Some of them maybe just want to, I don't know, like, say, like, be at home and work on the things that are going on in the house. The other one maybe want to travel, but all the rest of their lives are just perfect. Like, they do business together well. They keep house together. They interact with the family, and everything else just goes swimmingly. But one of them just doesn't want to do anything, and the other one does, and they just don't, like, interact well together, like, in that form. Like, one of them always has this idea that they're going to be traveling, and the other one just being stuck at home. And that's the way the one feels about it. It's just like the other one's like, why waste money on all this when we can put all our efforts and energy into something that is like, we can experience on a regular basis? Why do we waste it on traveling away? I mean, there's going to be any kind of excuses or reasonings behind it. It's just an example of what I'm talking about. But something inside of their life says, this isn't for me. There's something more that I want out of this. Something more that I want out of everything that's out there. I mean, if you're sitting on the curb and you have no idea what it is, I mean, I can't give you advice on that. I mean, if you're even watching this video, I have to ask you, it's just like, what do you think you're supposed to be? I'm gonna go on TV. I'm gonna make an appearance on TV at some point. I don't know how, but I'm gonna put it in my head, like right now. I'm gonna put it in my head that at some point that I'm gonna at least give a few seconds of TV airtime. Whether it's on the news or what, I don't know. But I'm just going to put it in my head and think about that. And some years down the road, it's going to happen. See, a long time ago, I had this idea that I wanted to be on stage and speaking in front of people doing this economics thing. It eventually happened. Right? I wanted to meet Ron Paul. He was on that stage. I didn't quite get to meet him close enough. I was at the same event speaking on stage with some of the greatest minds in economics. Why? Because I saw myself doing that. Scared the hell out of me to do it, but I did it with no fear in mind of getting it done. I was going to do it. I was scared of just being up there and nervousness of all the stuff, but it's a matter of facing that. You're going to be scared. That's okay. Being scared is just fine. It was still being on stage. You're still going to go do it. See, being scared doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's just the thought of being on stage. That's all you needed, whether you were scared of it or not. It doesn't matter what you fear. It doesn't matter what you are happy about. It's just what you are thinking. Period. Propaganda, relationships, bosses, it's all out there. It's just what you are thinking on a regular basis. If you want to think about nuclear war, guess what? You're going to be paranoid that it's going to be coming. You're going to be practicing nuclear warfare. You're going to be wondering what you're going to do about your neighbors and all the other stuff. Why? Why waste your thoughts with that? Think about having financial independence. Think about businesses. Think about what it is that your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your kids or your parents want. What are they thinking? Why are they living the life that they are? What are they thinking about? I mean, this is the life that they're going to live. If you are where you are right now, think about it. If you are depressed, if you are happy, if you're in fear or not, I mean, you are a product of what you are thinking right now. If you are missing something out of your life, it's because you are afraid of it. You are afraid of not having it. Maybe you were afraid of having it, like I was at this house. I ended up with this beautiful house. I need to change the way I think about it. I need to embrace the idea, which I am starting to do. But I was scared of it. It still happened. You got to go forth with no fear. And you put it in your mind that this is what I want. I don't see it any other way. Eventually, you'll have a successful YouTube channel. Or you'll be on TV. Or you'll speak on the same stage as Ron Paul. Or you'll have whatever it is that you want in your life. Anything you want. It's the power of this. It's the strangest secrets, this power. It's this laws of attraction. And a lot of people may call it a religion. It's up to you. Right? I'm not the one to deny how it is that you draw this. It exists. And now I personally believe it comes from an energy. It comes from an energy that is buried deep within every single one of us. And if you put that energy out there, that you have a particular thought in mind of something that you want, something that you feel you need in your life, and you just don't see it any other way, and you start asking for it in your mind, and you take steps towards it, and eventually that energy out there will attract it, and it'll come, and it'll present itself, and it'll say, hey, here it is. Go for it. All you have to do is now act. A simple shout out to George Gammon. I don't even know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And then you get invited to speak on stage. All from a simple shout out. I didn't expect anything from it. Right? But I went through, everything I'm thinking about has this idea of what it is that I want for myself, for my family, for this channel, for everything that I have going on. I have this idea that is just, it's like cement. It's concrete. It's not going to be any other way. There's no other way. And if you are on the streets and you have that, this world is screwing me over, there's no other way. I agree. I totally agree with you. You think there's no other way. An educated economist. You guys let me know.